Hey, Will Rich here. In this video, we're going to go over the top quantum stocks to be watching right now. And one of the focuses we've had recently has been on their scalability in relation to AI and how much power is being used for AI and how potentially quantum computers could be positioned for the future of compute. Now, when we were just trading this morning, we wrapped up our daily live trading BITF. This is a data center company. We bought the dip this morning, and so far I've seen it jump from $5 up to about 6.20 today at one point, and it's down to about 5.75. That's been a nice $700 trade today on about a $4,900 investment this morning. If you guys ever want to tune on into our live trading sessions, just like that, you can join in. It's in the second link in the description below. So quantum computing is heating up big time. We've seen massive runs, and we started covering many of these quantum stocks back around $1 a share. Started covering Rigetti around $1 a share. It was just November of last year that Rigetti was $1 a share. We saw it surge at one point to 21 bucks a share and then crash after Nvidia's announcement that quantum computing is 10, 15, 20 years away. We went to that conference to actually see firsthand. We really liked what we saw. We ended up buying the dip, buying into some more Rigetti, and holding what has been Schwab portfolio positions in IONQ, Rigetti, and many more. And I know there's a lot of investors that are here that have been holding Rigetti for a long time, and they're very happy about the current price. We saw it really start to build market cap into that $15 range towards the end of summer, and then it really exploded here back in September until today, when it's been making higher highs almost every day. In the last few months, it's really only had 3 red days. Isn't that just amazing? 3 red days in the last few months. We have this very nice continuation now from quantum, where we're at all-time highs today. $58 a share on Rigetti, and that's basically a 50x from where we were just a year ago. QBTS is up to $43 a share. They were just recently at $8 a share. We've seen them get to all-time highs. But a lot of the companies now could be trending because of government contracts or government and institutions focusing on them. But when we're looking at the trend of what is driving the quantum markets, there's a few big things. The first thing is the partnerships. We know big tech is, for example, partnered with Rigetti or with IONQ and even D-Wave. D-Wave's now, I believe, on AWS, Amazon. You can see Amazon's a partner with IONQ. Google Cloud is a partner. Microsoft, there. You got Thomson Cat, GE Research, DARPA, so they're working in defense. Accenture, so defense. Nvidia is a partner. And even Toyota coming in as a partner with IONQ, Dell, Q Control. And it was just last month that we went to a quantum computing conference, a new conference that was in Albuquerque. And we got to go actually meet with IONQ and see how the technology is coming along. The partnerships have been growing very fast, and they were very adamant that they're going to see more expansion commercially into more partnerships. And the same thing has been true with Rigetti. Rigetti talks very technical. When you look at their developments of their quantum computer, they talk very much about the different stages of the quantum computer. They talk about the qubits and where they're going with their technology, the fidelity, the single qubit gates versus 2 qubit gates fidelity, and they're a little more technical. But they do have commercial partnerships as well. And you could see NASA as a partner, MIT, AWS, and Microsoft for Rigetti. So same thing with QBTS. If you really look at the partnerships, they're growing. And we looked at just recently what was announced was that QBTS, or actually, let's see, let me search, go directly to their site here. QBTS had some announcements related to their quantum computers, and they've recently said that their quantum computers are some of the best real-world problem-solving quantum computers, if not the best in the world. and they're focused on AI. They've talked about blockchain quite a bit. And the only thing that is interesting, we see more sectors that they reach out to. So manufacturing, public sector, quantum AI. You've seen drug discovery or lithium-ion batteries or climate over for IONQ. But when we look at the actual growth of where they're going with their technology, they're always innovating their technology. However, you might even see some partnerships, but the contract values have been minimal. You might see Pattison Group, Ford Audison, you might see NTT Docomo, and of course, we were pointing out just a second ago all of the ones over on Rigetti. You see AWS and Microsoft, and then same thing with IONQ. You could see some of the similar partners like Nvidia and DARPA and Microsoft. But when we look at the actual financials, you look at a company like IONQ. They're leading the way as far as revenue. They've got a $26 billion market cap, and they're still losing about $176 million per quarter, or at least in the last quarter, that's how much they lost. So if they're losing money, right, revenue is maybe around 20 million a quarter, which puts them on track to maybe make $50 to $100 million per year. They still have had very negative net income. So the question is, you see a lot of investments or you see a lot of partners, but where are the contract values? Where is that going into the stock? It's not coming in on revenue basis. It's almost coming in on tax write-off basis, or that they're going into the assets, funding the assets and the runway and the investment, the cash balance of the companies. So you see the total assets, for example, on the balance sheet for IONQ jump to 1.3 billion. That gives them a lot of runway. So they're positioning with this big surge recently on the balance sheet to increase their assets. Now, is that enough assets? Yeah, it's going to get them through a couple of years for sure. They're good at this point. When you look at the financials on Rigetti stock, they're up to $18 billion market cap. They're making maybe $1 million a quarter. So really only about $4 million a year, but they're losing, about 39 or $40 million, sometimes 150 million they lost in one quarter. They're not turning a profit. And so obviously all of their partnerships we just laid out, or if we go to Microsoft and you can see Rigetti, in fact, we're working on a project right now where we're potentially going to be tapping into the cloud in some of these quantum computing companies for utilizing their cloud for analyzing some assets like stocks and things like that. So it's pretty cool. But again, revenue from that hasn't really kicked in. The revenue's been low. So where's the money going? It's going onto their balance sheet. You see their balance sheet total assets up to 636 million. And I believe it's really similar over on D-Wave. If we pull up QBTS, they're at 43 million or $43 a share at $14 billion market cap. They lost $167 million last quarter. Now, they've seen net income drop 841% year over year. They're not bringing in much revenue, around 3 million in the last quarter. But the balance sheet, again, from investors, they've increased it to nearly $1 billion. They've got their total assets up to 843 million. So what does that mean? Well, essentially, these companies aren't seeing the commercialization kick in, but they are seeing, hey, if China is investing 20 billion a year, okay, the US is maybe investing enough, right? We've seen maybe enough investment from the US. The bills that are getting passed, the government's shut down right now, but we're waiting for this one to go through. It's that Quantum Initiative Reauthorization Act. That's 2.7 billion. But basically, investors are saying, let's take it into our own hands. News comes out today when you see all the recent announcements where now it looks like, JPMorgan pledging massive investments into quantum. We see JPMorgan coming out with an investment plan related to the different sectors, and one of the sectors that's standing to benefit, they're expected, JPMorgan said, to invest $1.5 trillion in quantum technology. So right after that, you see the quantum stocks continue to rally. Now, how are they going to invest 1.5 billion? What is, I mean, you can throw all the money you want at it, but like, how are they going to invest 1.5 billion? Is it going to go to the one scientist or the 15 or 20 scientists that are working on the quantum computer? Is it going to be in educating others on quantum technology or building out programs at universities? Or is it just kind of putting them in the company? Because if you look at a company like Rigetti, I mean, they're based out of Berkeley, California, pretty close to where I live in California. Right now I'm in Buenos Aires, but they have 139 employees. We're not talking about a ton of employees. I mean, a capital investment like that, I mean, is the quantum space quite ready for that? They haven't really turned a profit. What makes, I mean, JPMorgan, you know, they're saying they're going to invest that much. What makes them want to do that? A couple reasons. Well, first, I just went to this conference, like I said, back in last month into New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, actually where I was born. And I got to go visit some family. My wife and I went and visited my grandma there. That was great. While we were at the conference. And what we found was that big tech is looking at investing and has been investing in quantum. But really what we found too is that JPMorgan and other financial institutions are investing in quantum tech in order to be able to utilize it for the financial markets, in order to be able to use it for analyzing stocks and things like that. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is because there's a lot of other sectors that would be massively advantageous should they have a quantum technology that was functioning properly and working. And that's the keyword, like functioning properly and easily workable into their current environment. Just haven't seen that yet. When it comes to QBTS, see this uptrend, it's very bullish. Can it continue straight up forever? Probably not. We're looking at the financials. At some point, you're going to say, yeah, there's real world investment, but the real world usage is a key. It's a super big key. Now, we could see usage spiking potentially, and if those indicators in the market show that these quantum computers are seeing more usage, then that's going to obviously continue the frenzy. Now, I'm a long-term holder in all these companies, and I have had positions in them for the last year or so. And I've been to a lot of different conferences on these companies, so I got a pretty good grasp of where they're at. But personally, I think they're still fairly far away. And that's from a market utilization perspective. Obviously, the capital is finding its way into these companies right now, though. So they're pricing in for a couple of years from now. You see them up to $45 a share on QBTS. Breakouts could continue. Previous resistance level is at $39 a share. So that could be the next level of support. 39 bucks a share there for QBTS, for it to continue this bull run that it's in. And you already saw it kind of sell back down and validate that previous resistance at 39 bucks earlier today. So conservative sell-off without continuing breakout would be a sell down back 10% to that $38 price point. Conservatively, and I think probably what would be the most healthy, probably down to that $36 price point. That's how QBTS looks. If we look at Rigetti, Rigetti's got a similar pattern going. You can actually, I mean, we've had some trends for quite some time going on Rigetti, but you could probably see something along the lines of this. So next level of support, or you could say previous resistance that would act as a support, probably looking right here, right around $48. You see it sell down and actually kind of validate that earlier today as well when it pulled down. And that's going to be a level of resistance that could act as a support. So nearest support level on Rigetti is about $50 a share. Conservative estimate, if it were to sell off even more than that, 7 to 10% down to 50 bucks, would be down to that rising support level here, kind of down to that $45 range, which would be more conservative. But again, we could see breakouts continue. This is where we're at right now. Obviously, it's, RSI, MACD on most of these companies are looking very overbought at the moment. That's just kind of the nature of the quantum market right now. We could probably adjust the RSI and the MACD to, function as a bull market and just move the numbers up, because now like oversold is basically halfway down the MACD or the RSI because of how bullish things have been. But you do see kind of similar trends over with IONQ. IONQ has got this trend where they broke out and they're seeing some levels in that $85 range recently, which is just monster after a huge breakout there. So they're kind of, let's see if I can make this a little better, into this range here. Okay. And so they're kind of breaking out above in that $85 range. Recently got rejected. Their nearest support level looks to be probably right around here. Seeing this level here, previous resistance, there's a consolidation and support there. You got a resistance or support here, support right there. That's a conservative sell down into that $72 range. Next support with resistance around $87 a share. Next, well, really about $84 a share next for IONQ, between that $84 to $90 range. So those are kind of the levels we're going to be watching. There's a lot of great tech in quantum, and I think it's going to be good long term. I think it's more certain for the long term and less certain on the near term, and because of the time horizon on when it can be fully commercially applicable. We trade every morning live, and I use this tool a lot. For example, we were trading Bitfarms this morning. I kind of mapped that out. We're actually adding, you can add any AI model, but we're adding quantum as well. So you can actually search in with D-Wave or IONQ or Rigetti to have it do a next level of analysis of the stocks that you're analyzing, for the probability of what's given to the quantum computers, then for it to go basically through that data through the cloud via kind of like API. So it's complicated. It's not easy to connect, but we are working on it right now. And I'm just telling you, we are doing our best here to use quantum technology. And in the event that it works within, pretty good close margin of what we're looking to achieve, then that's going to be great. So I just want to let you know that is the level that we're kind of using quantum as well. It's not just that I'm talking about it. I'm at the conferences, I'm using it, seeing how the companies are connected here. In Mercatus, this is a full breakdown of the machine if you guys ever want access to be able to visualize markets and get AI analysis of stocks for you. It's the first link below. If you want to join us in our daily live trading sessions and get a free t-shirt, it's the second link in the description below to join StockMate. We'll be there at Market Open live tomorrow. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.